Oh buddy, Andy here again. Well, recently I did a blog post and I'll put a link to it down below called Twitter and TV, and what I was talking about in there was the way that people now seem to tweet all the time when they're watching TV shows. Yes, we've all done it. I've done it in sporting occasions and you're watching the football, that type of thing. But so many people do it in certain TV programs, which there seem to be certain ones that it happens in, but it's something that's increasing and increasing. And my point of view was that the people who are doing this, apart from possibly spoiling from other people who might not have seen it, especially in America where there's that time lapse, but also, how are they actually watching the programme? They can't be taking that much notice of the programme they're actually watching because they're forever looking down at either their phone, their iPad, their keyboard, or whatever it might be, their laptop, etc. And that led me on to another point, a newer point, about going to entertainment events, whether you're going to a gig specifically, or whether you're going to a theatre, or whether you're going to a movie theatre, or something like that. We've all been, especially gigs now. You go to them or you see footage, and that's the point. You go to the gigs and all you see now, especially from the stage, are seas of phones being held up and the little lighted screens. And if you're standing in a gig, you've got people standing in front of you with their iPhones or their smartphones or whatever it is. And I even saw a photo the other day, and if I can find it I will actually put it on here, of someone with an iPad. Yes, an iPad at a gig, standing there with an iPad, holding it up to record whatever it was that was going on the stage. I can't remember who it was, what gig it was, or even which country it was in, but you get the idea. Can you imagine what it must be like standing behind iPad Man at that type of thing? And that's something that's only going to get worse and worse. We all know that so many gigs now, they check you. You're not allowed to take big cameras in, you're not allowed to take video cameras in. And I understand that from a band's point of view. I know some bands encourage it, and that's a different issue altogether. But nowadays it's a bit silly. They can't take everybody's 20,000 people's phones off them, because we all, or just about 90% of the population, carry phones around now, or some sort of device small enough to fit in our pocket, but which has got the capability to either record audio or to record pretty good, decent quality video. So that then comes to that other point. Apart from the fact that you're in there and you've got all these people around you and you can't actually see the stage because they've all got their hands up, you've got that other issue. If you are filming, and yes, I've done it, I've been to gigs and I've filmed little bits and pieces, but afterwards I've watched it and I thought, well, hang on a minute, I don't actually remember that particular part of the gig because I was too busy holding up my phone, trying to focus it, well, not focus it, trying to frame it and get it properly so that it looks good. Yes, maybe I'm a bit of a control freak and I care about that stuff more than some other people might, but it's still, I'm sure most of us, what's the point of filming something if you haven't got in there what you want to film? So you don't actually take notice, a bit like the old Twitter and TV argument, the iPhone and the gig argument. You're not actually taking it in, and lots of people have spent quite a bit of money nowadays. It isn't cheap, it isn't easy to get tickets for these type of events, and maybe that's another topic. You know what it's like. For even the biggest events nowadays, the tickets come on sale and within about 10 minutes they've sold out, and you don't have to be a band that high up the food chain for that type of thing to happen nowadays. And as I said, that's probably another argument. I know the disputes going on with people like Ticketmaster and other brands are available, I'm sure, who are being accused of certain underhand practices, shall we say. So as that sort of thing has changed, and it's changed your whole gig experience, and it's the same also now with theatres or something like, or even movie theatres, where people are talking far more than what they used to. There's a different attitude to the way that people go to these events, and it is a topic that I will tackle in another video. Actually, I may well record it straight after this one because the two are linked. But it's annoying, you know what it's like. You're trying to watch a movie, trying to watch a film, and there's people talking all the way through, either on their phones or to their family. They're eating things. The whole experience has changed because you can't actually take it in. So does it ruin it? And is this a sign of the future? I don't know. Yes, I still love to go gigs, but even small gigs that I'm involved with the local bands, it's not big time stuff, but there's still lots of people there automatically getting their phones out and taking video or whatever footage. That's quite good in some ways because it shows that people do actually care enough to want to take a video or a bit of footage or something. But think about it, if you're at a gig, why waste your time standing there holding up your phone for half the gig and actually miss the whole excitement of the gig? Because if you're doing, holding that up, you're not actually really getting into it, you're not involving yourself in it. Everybody else uploads these things to YouTube, so why not let somebody else do it for you, and they don't actually enjoy the gig as much as you do, and then you can go and relive it by watching it on YouTube. Yes, I know the argument is if everybody did that, there wouldn't be any footage, but would that be such a bad thing? Because it goes back to the old days when you say, oh, I was there, I was at that gig. I can think of gigs that have happened over here, early gigs by the Beatles or something like that at the Cavern, where, you know, it held about 100 people, but about 3,000 said that they were there. Or the early gigs that U2 did in London, there was about 10 people in the audience, but the amount of people who say they were there would probably fill the O2 Arena. That's got to be a bit of a better way, hasn't it? I know it's better for everybody involved. If you paid your money, you take your choice, I suppose, as they say. But you've got to enjoy it a little bit more if you take a little bit more notice and let the atmosphere and everything roll over you. I've been to gigs where I've meant to film things and I've got involved in it and I've forgotten and suddenly thought, hang on a minute, I didn't take any photos, I didn't take any videos. But in some ways, I'd much prefer it that way round. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.